Ever noticed how it feels like you have a target painted on your back? You walk into a room, minding your own business. You aren't looking for trouble. You aren't looking for drama. Yet, like a heat-seeking missile, the most difficult, draining, and toxic person in the room finds you. They lock onto you. It happens at work. It happens in relationships. It happens with friends of friends. And you ask yourself the same question every time. Why me? You start to think there is something wrong with you. You think you are too weak, too nice, too open. You think you need to build higher walls and become cold just to survive. But that is not what is happening. Here is the truth. They don't target you because you are weak. They target you because you have something they are starving for. Think about a moth. A moth doesn't fly into the darkness. It flies into the light. You are the light. Your empathy, your patience, your willingness to listen. These are high-value resources. To a person who is empty inside, you look like a feast. But this dynamic is about to change. Not because you are going to fight them. Fighting them gives them exactly what they want. Friction is fuel. Conflict is connection. The moment you try to prove them wrong, you are trapped. The moment you try to defend yourself, you are playing their game on their home field. So how do you make them stop? How do you become invisible to the predators without losing your light? You have to change the frequency you are broadcasting. Right now, your frequency is likely set to, "I hope they like me," or "I hope I don't upset them." This is the frequency of prey. It signals that your emotional state is dependent on their approval. It signals that you can be moved. If they push, you stumble. If they insult, you hurt. If they praise, you bloom. You are reactive. Listen to me carefully. The only thing a toxic person fears is a person they cannot move. When you become immovable, you stop being a source of supply. You become a mirror. When they scream, and you remain calm, they are forced to see their own chaos reflected back at them. When they try to manipulate you, and you simply observe it without judgment or reaction, they see their own desperation. They hate that. They need you to be the villain so they can play the victim. Or they need you to be the victim so they can play the god. But what happens when you refuse to play a role? You become boring. And being boring is your greatest weapon. This isn't about ignoring them. Ignoring is an action. It takes effort. This is about internal indifference. It is about looking at their behavior not as a personal attack, but as a weather pattern. You don't get angry at the rain. You just put up an umbrella and keep walking. This is where we reframe your past. All those years you spent dealing with difficult people, that wasn't just suffering. That was your training camp. You have developed a skill set most people dream of. You can read micro-expressions. You can sense a shift in the tone of a room before anyone else. You know when a compliment is actually an insult. You thought this sensitivity was a curse. You thought it made you fragile. Read that again. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. It is a high-level intelligence system. It is a radar. The problem wasn't the radar. The problem was that every time the radar pinged danger, you tried to fix the danger. You tried to heal the danger. Now, you are going to use that radar for its intended purpose, navigation. When you spot the toxicity, you don't engage. You don't try to save them. You maneuver. You give them nothing to grab onto. No emotional jagged edges. No insecurity. No need for validation. You become smooth, polished glass. They will try to provoke you. They will ramp up the tactics. They will push buttons that used to work 10 years ago. But you are not that person anymore. You watch them wind up for the punch, and you simply step to the side. They swing at the air. They lose their balance. They look foolish. And suddenly, the game isn't fun for them anymore. There is no payoff. There is no dopamine hit from your reaction. There is no drama to feed on. They will look at you with confusion. They will try one last time, maybe a guilt trip, maybe a sudden burst of anger. And you will look back with a calm, steady gaze. You won't offer an explanation. You won't offer an apology. You will just offer silence. That silence is deafening to them. It screams that you are no longer under their control. They will leave. They have to. They have to go find someone else who will play the game. They have to go find someone who hasn't graduated from the training camp yet. And you? You are left with your peace. You are left with your energy intact. You realize that by stopping the war within yourself, the need to please, the need to explain, you have ended the war outside yourself. You are not a victim who got away. You are a master strategist who changed the rules of engagement. They didn't stop targeting you because you hid. They stopped targeting you because they realized they couldn't afford the price of admission to your life anymore. Walk in that power today. You earned it.